Well, let's talk falling in love. Quite possibly one of the most beautiful experiences life can offer you. It can make you feel like nothing in the world could ever go wrong in your entire life. But when you inevitably meet someone who sweeps you off your feet, not everything quite aligns perfectly. So when you do meet somebody with differing religious views to yours that don't exactly align, there are a few options to consider. So today we're asking the question, have you encountered any difficulties dating someone from another religion? And this morning we're joined by celebrity psychologist and CEO of Hidden Dimensions, Charissa Bloomberg, to help us discuss this hot topic. And we'd love to hear from you with your questions and your comments as well. So head on over to our Facebook page, drop a comment on the post, and we would love to engage with you. A very good morning to you, Charissa. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Kat. Great to be here.
A very interesting topic that we're taking on right now. But let's first try and understand from a human psychology and socialization point of view why dating or why religion is such an important part of who we are.
Kat, so let's just look at socialization briefly, because that's a huge topic. It's really the process of trying to have socially acceptable behavior, how to mix with other people. And I'm going to use the analogy of dogs. You know how we socialize dogs?
Yes.
So that they learn to be with different breeds, different colors, different genders, small, big. It's the same process. We're learning socially acceptable behavior. So you can imagine we're dealing with people from different races, different religions, different cultures every day. So how do we do that and be socially acceptable?
Yeah.
So that is huge. And we learn that from our parents. So that's why religion and socialization is absolutely integrated together.
Do you find it in your work and maybe in published research that people find it more desirable to date somebody or to fall in love with somebody from the same religious viewpoint?
Yes. You know why? Just because it's easier, there's less to argue about. They're on the same page, they have the same background, they go to the same church, or if it's a synagogue or wherever it is, and they share the same religious beliefs, and they pray together. I mean, that's huge. And in times of conflict, they can draw from this, from that strength and that culture. So it's easier and less conflict.
Yeah.
And supposedly more successful relationships. Not always, but we're just saying it's an ingredient.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
So with that in mind, then, what are some of the challenges that can arise from dating somebody, falling in love with somebody, or maybe even being married to somebody from a different religion?
Right. So here's the thing. Is it my way? Is it your way? Which holidays are we doing? Which beliefs are we having? What attitudes do we have towards our future marriage, to children, to everything, to gender roles, to... I don't like the way you're doing it. In my culture, we don't. So there's all those things that can escalate to be arguments and put a huge crack in that relationship eventually.
Yeah. Very, very much so. But with that said, would you say that there are also benefits to dating somebody from a different religion?
Yes, if one's prepared to be open-minded and not dogmatic and not arrogant and not arguing, if you open your mind, there's so much you can actually learn from another person's religion. Say, for example, I'm Jewish and I'm dating a Buddhist. I love that. I can learn about meditation. I can learn they don't eat animals, which I love, nature. There's so much that can broaden my horizon and my perspective. So yes, if you're open to it, you can grow.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal growth that can happen there, indeed. And of course, looking at the kind of world that we live in as well, that first question, talking about human socialization, your ability to be able to get along with people from different walks of life is so important. And that could be quite an enriching process then, learning from a partner, an intimate partner.
Yes, absolutely. And just broadening everything that you're learning about. We don't know what the other cultures do. And, you know, people love to judge. It just opens up a whole wonderful mindset. Let's learn about others and stop fighting and feel that our way is the right way always.
Wow. Beautiful way to close this first section of our discussion off. Head on over to our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page and let us know whether you have encountered maybe difficulties or challenges dating somebody from a different religion, how you have dealt with those, and maybe you have found a way of successfully integrating two religions into one relationship. We would love to hear from you as well. So do engage with us, and we'll continue our conversation with Charissa Bloomberg a little bit later on.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Monday morning. And of course, we're talking relationships during this last hour. And today, celebrity psychologist Charissa Bloomberg is here on the hot seat talking about a very, very important topic. We're talking about dating across and navigating a relationship when it comes across religious boundaries. And joining her on the couch is relationship coach Jeffrey Khan, who has experience dating across religions. And we'd love to hear from you as well. All of your questions, all of your comments. So please do head on over to our Facebook page and drop a comment on the post there, and we'd love to engage with you. Jeffrey, thanks for joining the conversation.
Nice to be here.
So when we start talking about a relationship, I guess the first part is probably the easiest part. They like to call it the honeymoon phase, right? When everything is nice and easygoing, there's no pressure, but it's when commitments come in that things get really challenging.
Yeah.
Why is that? And also, what strategies can couples then use to navigate through this stage of a relationship, especially those difficult conversations?
You start getting into the nitty-gritty of the things now. You know, religion in the beginning is not really a big thing.
Yeah.
Or it could be. This is why it's so complicated.
But I guess like the first point of attraction to somebody, you never think about what religious beliefs they hold. It's about their personality mostly. It's about what they look like, whether they're appealing to you, and such
That's also true, but on the other hand, it's also very true for people that are very staunch religious people.
Yes.
They will look at somebody and say, I can't, because they're not equally yoked, as they call it. So it can be very complicated and very simple. My father was Jewish, my mother was a Christian, and they met after the war, and they had marriage for 54 years without any problems whatsoever. So it was a fantastic way to get brought up. So it can be complicated. Strategies, talk to each other.
Yeah.
Communicate.
Yeah.
Charissa said it to me yesterday, respect and communication is the thing that we need to do when we come to these things. And these can be complicated, or we can make them simple.
Yeah. And of course, that's the one step of it. The couple can speak among themselves and then decide what their strategy or way of attacking the particular problem would be. But then there's family that gets involved. So, and then sometimes family can be that wedge between a couple in a relationship where they're disapproving of certain things. How do you suggest, Charissa, that a couple deal with that if they experience it?
Firstly, I just want to say it's very sad when that happens, and we've known parents have broken up many love relationships, sadly. And you never want to be in the position where you have to choose between my parents and my new partner. So very sad. So the first thing we want to do is strengthen the bond with your partner. Definitely talk. And talk to the parents. Find out what have they got against it. Is it just the religion? Or is there misunderstandings? Or is it they don't know your partner too well? Or maybe they have a good reason your partner's been unfaithful or being controlling. So find out what it is and talk it through.
Yeah.
And put up your boundaries and say, this is my life. This is what I want. This is the person I love. Parents, please.
Yeah. And from a relationship point of view, and I mean, Charissa said it quite nicely right now, that strengthening the bond with your partner is most important. And therein lies the real possibility then of being cut off from your family if they continue to be disapproving. How does a couple navigate that if it happens?
Once again, it's talking and it's communication and understanding. And it's understanding from both sides, from the family side and from your side. And once again, it depends on how staunch you are, how your beliefs are. And you can't waver faith. If somebody's in faith, it's very difficult to change their mind. So it's got to be negotiated very carefully and through understanding.
Yeah. And is this something that one then revisits at a later stage, where you've given time for, I guess, the family and the differing party to kind of relax their viewpoints a little bit? Or is it something that once it's cut off, you just kind of leave it as it is?
I think absolutely it's time to revisit. But also say why you're cutting off. We spoke about this yesterday. Don't do it in anger. Don't do it the gentle possible way. I'm feeling, parents, this isn't working for my own protection right now. I'm going to step back. Because the worst thing what happens when parents don't like your partner, you know what happens? The partner does something wrong and then I knew my parents were right about you.
Oh, wow.
You know how you can throw it in, can really cause a spanner. So, take some time and then revisit it. The parents can possibly see, You really love this person.
Yes, yes, exactly.
You know, you want to be with him.
Great advice from both of you. Thank you very much, Jeffrey and Charissa. We do still have one more time to chat to our experts on this relationship topic, and so please do engage with us if you've encountered any difficulties dating someone from another religion. We would love to hear your questions and your comments for Charissa Bloomberg and Jeffrey. Head on over to our Facebook page and then throw that comment onto the post.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's a Monday morning and we're talking relationships on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And today, celebrity psychologist Charissa Bloomberg is in the hot seat to help us discuss how couples can navigate the difficulties that can come with dating someone from another religion. And joining her on the couch is Jeffrey Khan, relationship coach, who has experience dating across religious lines, in a manner of speaking. As you said, your parents did so. But we asked, of course, for your comments on our social media pages. And here is what you had to say about this particular topic. The first coming from Ek Jr. Oh, guys, your names are very interesting on social media. Morning Expresso. Religion takes a big role in a relationship, but it doesn't mean that one should judge another. What is needed is just to accept another's ways, flaws, and religious ways. Quite an enlightened point of view there. Mjoli W. Ndando says, good morning to the beautiful and vibey morning crew. Well, I've never dated anyone from a different religion, but I wouldn't mind dating one, as I love learning new things, as you said earlier on, Charissa, and the beauty of our diverse cultures, because a lot of the times the religious part comes with a difference in cultures as well. Then Michelle Robenheimer also had this to say, yes, it does, because both of you, or both are maybe from a different world, etc. So we need to respect one another. Without that, there wouldn't be a real relationship. So I guess generally a great understanding that it can work as long as there's lots of communication and acceptance and understanding.
Yes, and lots of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that, so when it comes to, I mean, and we spoke about the fact that families are a very, very important part, right? So when it does come to the part where you do have to cut off family, cut off friends because they're not in support of the relationship that you're in, whether it may be for religious reasons, how do you go about doing that in a manner that is not destructive for anyone involved? Or is that even possible?
Very difficult, but you have to make a huge effort. You don't just cut off, you know, don't invite people anymore, don't accept their phone calls. Sit down and explain the reasons why you're doing that in the gentlest, as you said yesterday, in the gentlest possible manner. This isn't working for us, this isn't good, this is the reasons we're taking, this is what we're going to do to protect ourselves. And it doesn't have to be long term.
Yeah.
It's just for now, until we can work through some of our issues.
Yeah. And Jeffrey, when we look at couples coming together from two different religious points of views, and a conversion has to take place. One of them decides that I'm going to convert to the other religion. What's important to consider there? Because, I mean, for the most part, you know, you've grown up all of your life believing this one thing, and now you're making this transition into another faith, and that's a huge step.
It's a wonderful show of love, actually, on the partner's side that's deciding to convert, and she's accepted. And I think it's a wonderful thing. You're showing that you're committed in all ways to your partner. And it's a big gift to give somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think are the important things to consider, though? Because that can also have its own impact on you as a person. And as much as it is a show of love, there's a lot of real world consequences that one has to consider.
Yes, you both have to be involved. That's the key. You both have to be involved, and you both have to learn and go through what the other partner's going through while you go through the process. I think that's very important. And once again, you know, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey together. You know, it's part of that marriage, it's part of that relationship. And I think it's fantastic if somebody does that. And we're all learning as we go through that journey.
Yeah. Charissa, in closing, what are some of your final tips with regards to dating across religious lines?
Be open-minded, try and be non-judgmental, love the person for who they are, not which God they believe in and traditions. See the person for who they are and work on it. Talk, 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 talk. The art of talking and communicating is lost. Get off the social media, connect. What do you say?
Watch TV programs like this.
On that note, thank you very much to both of you. And of course, we know that love, no matter what the background looks like, can work if you're willing to let it. In order to make things work with the one that you love, listening to actually understand instead of to combat is one of the main ways that you can actually make it happen.